Cheers, John.
Yes. Cheers. Thank you for having me.
Oh. Thank you for meeting for a drink. I'm going to get into your history-making hockey career, but I do have to ask about your 6 daughters.
Yes.
Yeah, not 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, 6. What's the breakdown of ages?
The oldest right now is 9, and then we have a 7, 2 5s, a 3, and a 1.
A 3 and a 1. Oh my gosh. You know, you had this in your career, this natural protective instinct on the ice. Do you feel that coming through like times 1,000 with little girls?
You know, not yet, because the threat isn't there. You know, like there's no, they're 9. Like the oldest is 9, so it's not there yet. But yeah, I think it will. I get very protective of who they're playing with, where they're going, what's going on in their life. But I don't even want to think about dating yet.
Yeah, I know.
So it's gonna be, everyone's always like, oh, wait till they come to the front door, you're gonna do this and that. I hope I'm just okay with it, where I can be like, you're gonna do the right thing. That's sure. You know, we can instill some morals in them where they're not just gonna go off the rails and be like, I'm going crazy, I'm on a date. So, but yes.
Did you ever think you'd have daughters, and did you always want a big family?
No, I grew up around, I had 2 brothers in my family, so there was 3 boys. I've never had really any girl cousins. I've never been around women my whole life. With my hockey career, I was always around men my whole life. So I was like, no. And then when me and my wife got married, we talked about, you know, how many kids we wanted, and we had 2, and we're like, 2's good. And then, you know, we had 4, and then 5 and 6, and now we're at 6. We're like, might as well go for more. So we'll,
really?
Yeah, we you know, we're open to life. We love our kids. We love our life right now. So yeah, it's good. Why I haven't heard anybody who's been like, oh, I regret having so many kids. So
right.
It's been fun.
My gosh, that's incredible. What is something that no one told you about fatherhood?
Well, there's a lot of things. Just, I think it's a huge responsibility, right? Because you control the fate of these people. And I think everyone tells you the highs of it. Oh, it's great, they love you, they do this and that. It's like, if you mess up this kid, like that's on you forever. Like it's a big responsibility. So I don't know. Yeah, I think no one told me how impactful being a parent can be on a kid.
Sure.
Like if I swear in the house, they're going to swear, and they're swearing forever. So every little thing they watch you don't have a minute to yourself. They're always, always, always watching. Especially like I have 12 eyes glued on me all day. It's
right.
pretty intense.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for fathers to be?
To be, I guess. No, I don't know. Like everybody figures it out their own way. I'm probably a bad dad in a lot of ways, probably a good dad in other ways, but you know, you figure it out. I'm more of a strict dad, so I'm like, probably too strict in some ways, but no, I don't know. Everybody figures it out. If I say something, I want them to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, pick up that plate, pick it up, take it to the sink, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think
Okay.
parents these days are too lax, and that drives me a little nuts a little bit.
Sure. I read your autobiography, A Guy Like Me, Fighting to Make the Cut,
Yeah.
and the letter, 5 goals, at the time, 4 kids.
Only 4 at the time, yeah.
And one hell of a good time.
Yeah.
I'm curious what the process was like writing the book. Does writing come easy for you? Was it hard to be so vulnerable? I mean, what was that? Yeah, what was that process
I'm not
like?
exactly the most touchy-feely person. You can ask my wife. I'm very just keep everything in. So that was a little difficult. And I have a terrible memory. And so I would just lean on my wife. I'm like, do you remember like 10 years ago when we did this? What happened there? And so she literally wrote probably a quarter of the whole book just based on her memory. But it was a good experience. The article, I think, was a lot more enjoyable than the book. Because the book, I had a ghostwriter. It was fun, but I wasn't as involved. Where the article was like mostly my words, and it was kind of my ideas. So it was really neat to kind of say goodbye to hockey and do it in that way. And the Players Tribune is really great, where they just kind of let you run with it and do whatever you want. So it's cool.
I might have to disagree. I teared up a couple times. Like it was very heartwarming, you know, when you think your parents and the story of you and the love story of you and Danielle. So I think there's a softie inside this tough guy.
It's in there somewhere, I guess. But yeah, no, it was a cool experience. It'll be something where I can like pass it across to the kids when they're old enough to read it. And like, here, look, there's Dad, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a good experience. I'm glad I had the opportunity to do it. Like it's
Right.
not everybody has a book. It's kind of cool.
To document.
Yeah,
So-
right. Because like I said, my memory is just
Yeah.
shot. So it's neat.
Now that it has been some time since the letter and the end of the On the Ice chapter, looking back, what was that transition like? You know, did you feel like you had to reinvent yourself, or were you simply enjoying just being with family and like not being on the road? Now that there's just been a little bit of space.
Yeah, initially it's a little daunting, right? Because I literally for 30 years was a hockey player. When you thought of John Scott, to be like full of myself, you thought of a hockey player. And it was really weird to be like, okay, now what do I do? When I used to wake up or go to the rink, work out, that's it. And then it was like, I have no purpose. I have no idea what I'm going to do. So it took a little bit of getting used to, but like you said, luckily we had twins that were just born. So we had 4 kids to kind of focus our attention on. And I just had done the whole All-Star game thing. So I had a lot of opportunities where I could go and write a book, do a TV show, like take my mind off the fact that I wasn't a hockey player anymore, because that was my whole identity. So there was a lot of nights where, and you can ask my wife, where I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is not who am I, but like, what are we doing with this next step, this next chapter?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I've figured that out still, but I'm lucky enough to kind of cobbled my way to a new career and a new life here in Traverse City. So yeah, it's been somewhat painless a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say, so what, I know you just said you're still figuring it out, but you know, what is that kind of passion and purpose today, and what does this next chapter, what is it looking like? I know you have your podcast, Dropping the Gloves, and you're involved in Rove Estate Winery, which we're at right now. So
yeah, well, I work at an engineering firm here in town, and that kind of just fell into my lap. So I've been doing engineering work. I'm a mechanical engineer. That's what I got my degree in. But my podcast has been doing very well. Thankfully, we've been able to 3 days a week do that from Traverse City, which has been good. We're one of the, I don't really peek at the numbers. I think we're top 3 hockey podcasts, which is fun. And then, you know, we're really involved in our church and our faith and stuff. So we're going to continue to do that. And just trying to like keep a low profile, honestly. That's why we settled down here and not somewhere glitz and glamour and all that stuff. We just want to raise our kids in a little pocket here in Traverse City. We bought a little chunk of land that we're just gonna keep it simple, man. Like not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We're just getting back to basics. I don't need to make $1 million. We were blessed to make a decent amount in NHL, and now we're just trying to raise our kids the right way. So
since you brought it up, I'd like to get into it now, is just your life here in Traverse City. I understand that this is where your wife Danielle is from, so I assume that's kind of what brought you back. And how would you describe the community here?
It's just a very low-key community. I'm not very exciting. I know you probably get these guests who are glitz and glamour on the town. We very rarely go out. We very rarely, like, you know, we have a tight-knit group of friends who we kind of pal around with, and that's great. And the town is just, it's very unassuming. Like, we go about our business. We were talking earlier about how there's a lot of spots you can explore, and it's just very, you know, places to get away. We go to the beach, we don't see anybody. We go for, you know, walks on our property, we don't see anybody, and it's just, it's great. My wife grew up here. We bought a place like 2 miles up the road from where she grew up, but it seems like a world away. So it's just, it's been a really great blessing. We have a cottage up in Northport, and we go up there in the summer, and to get away, it's like our vacation spot, but it's only half an hour up the road. So it's great.
That's been one of the best things I think about living here, is that on Friday at 5 o'clock, it's like you're already at vacation.
Right.
And it, you know, before when I lived downstate, it was like the 5-hour drive, And that's been one of the things where, like, I truly, after a weekend here, just Saturday and Sunday, feel like I had a vacation.
Yeah.
And so now, at Michigan Tech, I have to ask about the winter. How do the winters here compare to the winters in the Upper Peninsula?
I don't think anybody understands the winter up in Houghton, Michigan. Unless you've been there, I can't really explain it, but you would average 20 to 30 feet of snow a winter. It would be dark from October till March, and it was just winter. Like, and you embraced it. You just you went for it, man. And it's just you bundled up every day, and it's nothing. Like, I don't know, unless you've been to Houghton, you don't know until you.
I haven't. So would you say my winters here in Traverse City are more mild?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, without a doubt. It snows every day for 4 months. Like, it's no joke. Like, it's snow. If you don't like snow, you will not like Houghton, Michigan. So, it's a small school. You embrace it. Everybody kind of hangs out together. You do your work. You go out and you just kind of have some fun away from campus, and you just back at it again Monday morning. So it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love, your hockey career and story has been referred to as a Cinderella story, which I love, especially because of your 6 daughters now. It's just so fitting. And I thought it was interesting that as a kid, like, that was your dream, NHL. And then when you were playing in college with a scholarship, you didn't think it would actually happen. Why is that?
It's just like anything else where you kind of realize I never got drafted. I wasn't on anybody's radar to go professional. So I thought I was lucky to get a scholarship to go to Michigan Tech, which was not a great hockey school at the time. And I think it was a 50% scholarship my first year. And I was like, I'll get a degree and go work at home. There's a big car plant in St. Catharines, and I was going to go work for GM, and that would be that. It would be great. But worked at my game a little bit, and I had a coach who said, you can't, teach size. You're always going to be massive, so take advantage of it. And I got a little better, and as things went along, I got an opportunity to go play pro, and then, I just kind of went for it.
Yeah. So I also think it was interesting how you kind of downplayed your size, not saying your full height or weight, and then also not even being like a fighter in the beginning, and that you kind of had to be nudged to take advantage of your size. So I guess when you started to be a tough guy, did it come easy?
Yeah, like I would lie if I said I didn't get into fights like before that point, but like as a kid growing up in Canada, that's what you would find yourself in situations that you'd have to, fight a little bit, and I always did fine. And then, I think I had that protective mentality, and I don't like people taking advantage of smaller people, and I just, I use my size a little bit. But yeah, my first fight in the AHL, my coach said, don't fight that guy, because he was like the toughest guy in the league. And I, sure enough, got tangled up with him, and we fought, and I did okay. He would probably say he won. I would say I won, and I got a little confidence, and it just kind of snowballed to where I became a pretty effective fighter with my size, and I used that to get to the NHL. So it was a tool I kind of just used to get to where I wanted to go, which was to the NHL.
Yeah. When you look at your career in the NHL, out of all the teams you've played with, what stands out as like the most fun time?
The most fun, boy, because people think it's all fun, but it's not. It's actually miserable. The most fun, I think, is when I really got into my 7th, 8th, and 9th year professional, and I just kind of got comfortable. And I knew I didn't expect to play every game. I didn't expect anything. I knew where I kind of stood on the team, and I just got to kind of relax and enjoy where I was at, because I knew it was pretty special. But the first 3-4 years, I was really nervous, uneasy about my position. I could have been sent down or cut or whatever it may be. But but when we were in San Jose, I think it was fun. We got to go around and we visited all the local areas. Like, we went to San Francisco and Santa Barbara and the mountains, and we really took advantage of the city. And it was just a good group of guys we played with, and it was beautiful out there.
Yeah.
It really is. Northern California is really beautiful. So that was the year I think I had the most fun.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about this All-Star game, of course.
Oh, that
little thing.
Little nugget, yeah.
So you were a fan favorite, voted by the fans, 2016. Right before the game, you were traded, moved to the minors. You then were maybe going to be disqualified. You ended up being captain, played, scored 2 goals, became the MVP. Your helmet's in the Hockey Hall of Fame. When you received that standing ovation that night, like, does that still give you goosebumps when you think about that moment?
No, not really. I don't know. I'm not. What is cool was that, like, my wife was pregnant at the time with our twins. I think the cool part was seeing her on the bench and watching the replays of her crying. That really touches me. And being able to take my kids to see the car. But the standing ovations were great, and I'll never forget that. But it doesn't give me goosebumps. I'm not like that. I'm not gonna lie. I could sit here and say, "Oh, it was the greatest thing ever." But it was great. It was a great night.
So are you still in awe?
No. It was a cool experience. It was a really great experience, and I really did appreciate what happened. But I think the stuff surrounding the game was stuff that I'll remember more than the actual on-ice stuff. Like having a dinner with my buddy after the game, those moments, or in the locker room with the guys, or the stuff that nobody sees is what I remember. Because I don't remember much of that stuff. And it's not because I'm stupid or anything, but it's just it happened so fast. And you're just gosh, and it just is gone in a blink. So it's the other stuff where you can sit back and really take it in and share a beer and oh gosh, how coul was that? And those are the moments I'll remember. Ordering a burger at 1 a.m. with my wife in the hotel room after the whole night because we didn't get a chance to eat, and poof, was that something else? It was just, that's what I'll really remember.
And that's I feel a good life lesson. Just those are the moments that are important in life.
Yeah.
It's kind of the actual results and big things. It kind of ends up being those little moments in between.
And slip away and be that was cool. So and everybody thinks that. Oh, when you honked the car and that was great. I'm I don't remember. And when you shook Gary Bettman's hand, I'm I barely, it was just there was so much stuff going on where I was just lost. But yeah.
Throughout all the hurdles and the hard work, what kept you going all those years?
I liked playing hockey. I enjoyed what I was doing. At the end of the day, you're still playing a game. And now that I have a regular job, it's it's nice, but playing hockey and getting paid a ton of money is not a bad gig. So that's what kept me going. It's great. And then the competitive side of it, it's I don't want anybody to take my job. I want to be the best at what I do. And you're playing hockey. So
Right.
it's a game.
What would you say to someone who, feels like they can't catch a break and are kind of on this journey with all these hurdles? I feel like your story truly embodies grit and perseverance. So what would you say to someone who maybe wants to give up or?
Yeah, it's hard because I did get a lot of breaks, and I know that. I'm well aware of that. It could have been any Joe Schmo who had my position. I think I did work hard. I did apply myself, and I know I did get a lot of breaks, but for someone who just can't seem to catch a break, you just have to kind of look through all the stuff, and you'll always have an opportunity somewhere, whether it's, and I tell hockey players all the time who are I want to make the NHL, I want to make the NHL. It's not everybody will make it. Don't just pigeonhole yourself into that. Look elsewhere, because if you work hard, you'll find something where you can succeed. And I truly believe that. And it's a hard pill to swallow because everyone thinks they're I'm going to be the best artist in the world. It's no, you're not. But maybe you can go that route and you're going to be really great doing that. So don't kind of close off any avenues when you think you're going to be the best at this, because there's a good chance you're not.
Yeah.
So.
And something could happen that maybe you could never have planned for.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Don't close the door.
That's great. What are some life lessons that you learned in hockey that you apply in life?
I'm not that smart. No one should listen to this. There should be a disclaimer. This isn't useful at all. A life lesson. Just never give up. I don't know. I think just do the best. Someone told me this sometime. If you're going to shovel manure, be the best manure shoveler there is in the whole world.
Yeah.
And just do whatever you're doing and try to do it the best of your ability. Because no one's going to fault you for having a lack of work ethic. And just try to do whatever you're doing, whatever it is. I've worked at McDonald's, I've worked at Tim Hortons, I've worked at all the worst places. And I wish I would have learned that then, because I wasn't, and I just do whatever you're doing and do it well. Try to be the best at whatever you're doing.
That's great. I love that. What I guess, well, I have a couple more questions. First, I'll get into Danielle, and I just love your love story, how you said it was love at first sight.
I said that?
Okay, maybe you knew at the first time.
First sight, it was gross.
The first time you
She
saw her.
wasn't gross. What she was doing was gross. Sorry.
Right. Which I read in the book that you knew you wanted to marry her right away, and that didn't, it took some time and some work. But and I guess for those who didn't read the book, if you want to share that moment, what was so gross about the...
We should probably break that down. She was just in a cafeteria line with a big tray, and instead of getting a plate like you're supposed to do, she just put her food right on the tray, like a weirdo. And I saw her, I watched her, I was like, what is this girl doing? And I was just, to this day, she's like, I don't know why I did that. So that's why it was gross. She was
food
not
on
gross.
A tray, no plate.
But not like a mashed potato, like it's just really weird.
Well, it was obviously memorable.
It worked, yes. She hooked me.
What do you adore most about Danielle? If I'm sure it's hard to sum it up.
No, it's funny. It's good and bad because she's very honest, and you get what you get, and it can work both ways. Where she's honest in a really tough way, where it's like she'll look me in the eye and like, you're being a terrible person right now. I'm like, oh, all right, great, but that's what I love. It's just like you know where you stand at every single moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's hard to do in today's age, where everyone wants to be liked, everyone wants to be everybody's friend. It's a very, very good trait to have. I don't have it. I wish I did. So she's very bluntly honest about everything. You know where you stand with her. That's a really good character trait.
What would you say is the key to a successful marriage? I would imagine there's been, not necessarily rough patches, but just being on the road, not living together at certain times, all these kids. So, like, what's the key to...
It's not easy. I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy.
Well, I don't know. You guys have this...
No, we've been together 13 years now, going on 14. It's, we really lean into our faith a lot. I think that helps us. I know a lot of people maybe don't have that, but I just think you got to trust each other. And that's been a hard, aspect with our marriage. I think a lot of people struggle with that, but I think trust is huge.
Trust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Love that. What is next? Do you have a 10-year plan, or is it just kind of like enjoying, being present and the podcast and your job? Like,
I would we'll see how many kids we have, but just, less is more, I think. It's the rare person who doesn't want more. I'd like to just less is more. Yeah. We lived our exciting part of our life where we traveled around the world and the country and did lots of cool stuff. But I literally, if in 10 years I hadn't left Traverse City, I'd be like,
right, that's
nice,
the goal.
very
to stay
good.
Put.
Like, not go within. I don't even want to go downtown. Like, I'm like, go to Costco, go to Meijer.
Yeah.
Grab a Labatt Blue, and I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I really need. So.
Yeah, I mean.
A very boring answer for your show.
No, it's not.
I want to be president. Like, I don't want to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's what life is all about. Is
it? I don't know. I think it needs all kinds. You need someone who's motivated and wants to do everything. Like, you probably want this show to late night with Hillary, and like, you know what I mean? Like, very exciting, but it's not where I'm at right now. Who knows? This could change in 5 years.
Yeah, right. We'll have to do a round 2.
It'll be even more boring. It'll be even worse.
No. Well, I want to do a quick rapid fire. Just a couple questions, one-word answers.
One-word answers.
Or,
okay.
a sentence. Or,
okay, we can do one word.
What is your favorite month?
August.
Sunrise or sunset?
Set.
Northern Michigan's best kept secret?
Boy, I would say the Dunes.
Favorite restaurant? Although it sounds like you're at home cooking.
No, Rare Bird.
Rare Bird, where is that?
It's in Traverse City.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what street, but it's in Traverse City.
All right.
Yeah.
Number one outdoor activity that we're going to find you doing?
Swimming?
Swimming, okay.
Yeah.
And the question I like to ask everyone is, if you could have a drink with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Dead or alive? Oh man, I don't know. These are the worst.
Hey, we've heard it all, you know, whether a grandparent, and then I feel like an asshole if I, you know, for
I'm not
everyone who
gonna
says
say
these
a
sentimental
relative.
answers, and I'm like, oh, Jennifer Aniston.
Like I would like to do someone funny. I think like Chris Farley.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this was fun having a drink with you.
Pleasure.
Cheers,
Yes.
John Scott.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.